But we do have the technology now to create alternatives, and I think there is a hunger out there for those alternatives.
Very well. Thank you very much for that. We have a question from our panel here, our studio guest. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Taras Chernenko from Russia. So I have let the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran call the European youth, I quote, to receive knowledge of Islam from its primary and regional sources, gain information about Islam through the Quran and the life of its great prophet, unquote. So, all right, but the problem is that actually there's no group, there's no extremist group in the world that would claim the rejection of those primary sources. It's not a problem of rejecting the primary sources, but problem of misinterpretation. And so my question is, to your mind, what do you think, Dr. Marandi? What is the most effective way of representing the true interpretation of Quran and Sunnah? And more, how do we provide everyone interested in Islamic studies with the effective criteria allowing to make a difference between the two, between the authentic interpretation of Islam and its primary sources and non-authentic false interpretation given by the extremist groups such as ISIL, other Takfir groups, etc. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, I think the very fact that he actually says that look to the the Prophet and the Quran, he's already pointing out that as a result of this sentence itself, he's basically pointing out that we reject this this ideology, and therefore by extension, he is already telling a Western audience that this is not what mainstream Islam believes in. You raise a very important point about how do we go from there. And for example, if a Western audience wants to be introduced to what is, let's say, authentic Islam or real Islam, how is that done? And I think that is a major problem because, again, because the wealth is, there is this stranglehold. Of course, it's relative because your guest was the member of the audience in London was right. There is a lot of good material out there online on some alternative media outlets. But the reality is most of the media, whether Western media or media funded by these oil-rich dictatorships who basically support Wahhabism and extremist ideologies basically for their own self-interest. Their rulers are not really religious people. These are families that they run the countries as a family business. So this is a major problem. But I would like to actually move a bit away from this. And I would like to...
We've got 2 minutes, I'm sorry to say that.
Okay, very briefly. And that is that I'd like to actually say that we shouldn't look at this simply as Islam. I think that the whole of the world, the non-Western world, and much of the Western world, which is now facing poverty, the lower classes, those who are abused, those who are ignored, those who are otherized, and the non-Western world, whether it's Latin America, whether it's Africa, whether it's this part of the world, whether it's Asia, they have a common heritage, and that is colonialism, and that is hegemony and oppression. And therefore, there's a lot of common understanding already there. For example, when the Israelis were attacking Gaza, the most sympathetic part of the world was Latin America. So I think this, it is sort of, there's a host of different communities, Muslim and non-Muslim, that have a lot in common, and we have to find ways in order for them to interconnect and to bring about a better future.